Hello, mail merge trailblazers. I'm Samantha from The Data Are All Right, and today we are talking all about name tags using contacts, campaigns, campaign members, and my favorite app, one of my favorites, Apsona. So we're not doing a specifically nonprofit use case, although I think nonprofits need name tags a lot because we run so many awesome programs. But this particular video is using just regular standard Sales Cloud objects. Let's dive in. Over here on the screen, I have the Apsona app pulled up. So we're going to be operating in the Apsona universe for a little bit today. Put on your traveling hats. And we are going to grab a couple of contacts and make name tags for them. So I've picked contacts, 4 out of the 219 contacts that exist in this org. You could also apply filters, sort of similar to a list view environment if you need to filter down the number of contacts that are available in this list. And I'm going to select merge mail. I'm going to run an existing action. It's called name tags from contacts, and we're going to get some results. So let's download them and take a look. So Apsona was smart enough to take the 4 individuals' names, plug them into a template that I previously developed. I added in my template a line for people to write in their pronouns because I think that's a really great way to be respectful and inclusive. And this could go on forever, but we only picked 4 people, and so that's what we got in this template. I was excited about this, but I wanted to push the solution farther because unless you are having a party where you only invite people whose name starts with A, it's not particularly useful to select names from a contact list. That's why in a database like Salesforce, we have campaigns, we have program engagements, we have lots of smart ways of grouping contacts together. And we want to be able to leverage that so we can take those types of events that we're tracking in Salesforce and make name tags and other mail merges much more simply. So I decided for today that I was going to work on the campaign data model and that I wanted to be able to merge campaign members into a name tag template. The way I did that in Apsona is by going to campaign members and building what's called a single step report. So we're going to take a look at this report together. From here, you can see I gave it a nice descriptive name. I grabbed the campaign ID from the campaigns list here, and then I grabbed full name from the contacts list. It's a very short report. There's only 2 columns involved in it, but there's something really cool I want to show you that is going to make you fall in love with Apsona, just like I did. You can filter your campaign members based on the field campaign, which is a lookup. And Apsona is smart enough to pull in campaigns in a drop-down list, even though they're records. So you don't have to worry about remembering the exact ID or the exact name of the campaign. You can actually select it, which I feel like is so much more user-friendly. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Apsona. And so from here, I can actually run the report. We get 12 people who have been added to this particular campaign. If you have RSVP'd versus responded versus etc., you could further add filters to this report so you're only getting the people who you're expecting to see at the event. And we can click our handy dandy merge button. In this case, I'm going to click the edit this action before running it because I want to show you how a merge action is set up in the context of Apsona. So follow me. On this page, you get to choose where your template lives and what type of template it is. So there's not much to explain here. This is a template that I previously uploaded into Salesforce, and you can upload it too by grabbing it from my public Google folder, which I will link to in the show notes. Next, we have our field mapping. This behaves very similar to the contact report because we're just pulling in just the full name. So we don't need to worry too much about linkages and sublists. Apsona is treating this as if it's pulling right from the main table of campaign members, which is really slick. And you can see that all 12 are going to be processed. Hit next, save and run. So we're going to get results. They're going to look very similar to the last ones, but in this case, we now are going to have more names included because there were more people registered for this particular event. And not only do we have more people, but we have more interesting people, people who are grouped by event instead of by alphabetical order. And so you can see we're getting a lot closer to something that's going to be useful for you to be able to employ and deploy in your org setting. I wanted to take this one step further because it seems to me like a big limitation to have to edit the report every time to pull in just the campaign that I want. That could introduce problems if my campaign naming convention isn't clear, if I have a zillion campaigns to choose from, or if two people are trying to run this at the same time, then whose selection is going to win? I would much rather be able to support my colleagues to be able to run a name tag merge from the normal Salesforce app. So in this case, the NPSP app, or it could be a custom app that you have in your org, from the record that you're actually dealing with. So in this case, we have Medicare for All. That's the test record that I've been using because I'm on a public health kick. I've been learning a lot about the Medicare for All campaign. And I used the Apsona doc merge lightning component to build a button that can run this from any campaign in the system. So cool. I totally love it. It's so awesome. So I can just click here and it's going to run the action. There's no like extra stuff that your colleague has to see. You can download it and bada bing, bada boom, ready to go. I did something really cool with this, which is I actually made it conditionally viewable. So this only shows up in a campaign where there are campaign members. So if we go to a different campaign, like perhaps this one, there's no campaign members, so there's no button. If we go to this one, there's one campaign member, and so we see the button and we can merge just one name tag if we wanted to. I'm totally tickled by this. I think it is really smart and useful. I love leveraging all of the amazing things that Apsona can do to make our life easier. But there were a couple of gotchas where I got stuck, and so I want to give you some tips so that you can not get stuck like I did. We're going to look at the templates together. We don't need these merge results. However, it is useful to, oh, this is a merge result too. And this, oh my gosh, we have so many merge results. Cool, okay. Oh dear. All right, good. Now we're back to just the regular template. So in the Apsona documentation, they suggest that you can start with downloading a template from Avery Online or another provider of labels, address labels, etc. I did not have success with that today. It could be that I hit a bug or that I was making a mistake. But what I found with those templates is that they weren't actually formatted as a table. They were formatted as like boxes that were next to each other and spaced out in a particular way. And Apsona really requires that your data in your template be formatted in a table very specifically. And so to test this, I turned on all of the borders so I could see the boundaries between everything. And that really helped me be able to get this up and running. So that was my first gotcha. My second gotcha was that when I was building a new merge action, so I'll just go through the steps to show you. Create a new one. I had to pick address labels as the type. And this was a little bit counterintuitive to me because I was very specifically merging name tags, not address labels. But one of the things that I was able to make a connection that any type of printable label, whether it could be even, I think, an envelope, anything where you have a table and a template and like an Avery or another brand of stickers or something along those lines, Apsona probably is going to assume that that's an address label, so you should too. And lastly, Apsona did not agree with a previous version of my template that had a little bit of space between the rows. It treated even the space between the rows as another place to start to merge data, even if it wasn't a proper name tag cell. And so I switched to a template that would be more conducive. But I think in the long run, I want to get this working in a in a more permanent way, with a template that could have spaces between them, which is probably necessary. There's usually a little border if you're trying to do the sticker kind of name tags, which seems pretty cool and very common. Anyway, suffice it to say, this was a great day of building. I learned a ton about Apsona, about name tags, about campaign members, about Microsoft Word mail merge. There's so much to learn. Even someone who's been doing mail merge for a long, long time, when I set up these type of challenges for myself, I always find it to be enormously fun and stimulating, and takes me in all sorts of interesting directions. I'd love to hear from you about your interesting directions and what kind of mail merges you're trying to do, so that I can create more videos, and also cheer you on. So don't be a stranger. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.